Good morning and welcome to episode 52 of Technica. I'm, as always, your host, Brody Robertson, and today it is episode 52, and I'm going to be doing a solo episode. Now, the reason why I'm doing a solo episode basically is because this is as close as we're going to get to a 1 year anniversary. So I went and had a look at the date the first episode went up, and it seems like it was on the 27th of February. Now, the 27th of February isn't when this is going to be going up, but that is going to be the Saturday of the week it goes up. So either I do the 1 year anniversary 1 week late or 1 week early. So I've decided to go 1 week early. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm probably going to put a community post out on the main channel on the actual anniversary. If people want to go check this episode out, then feel free to go and do so. Otherwise, it's I guess a 3 day or 5 day. Yeah, I think 3 day for YouTube, or yeah, 3 day for YouTube, 5 day for library, or it might be 2 day for YouTube, 4 day for library. I don't know. It's one of those answers. I don't know, and it sort of depends on how YouTube in your region defines the upload date. Because on mine it says the 27th, but I can't remember if was doing my upload time at a different time at that point. Maybe I was, so maybe it'd be like a slightly different point. I don't know, but it's less than a week by the time this goes up. So yeah, because it's like that, I felt like doing a solo episode just made more sense because then I could go and just talk about basically anything. I could talk about the future of the podcast, things like that, where if I had like a guest on the show, it wouldn't really make that much sense because honestly, like having a guest on the show, you'd much rather focus on what the guest actually cares about, not just trying to get them talking about like whatever it is I want to talk about. That's basically how I feel. Now, one thing I did actually I did realize, which I will have to go and fix after this is over. I just bumped the mic. I do that a lot. Is that on the group episodes, the like 2 people or 3 people episodes, I haven't done a 3 person episode in a while, but I did actually go and update it. But on the 2 people one or 2 person ones you've seen, the layout looks a little bit different. I forgot to actually update it for the solo episodes, so I guess we're still going to be using the old layout. What I'm probably going to do, doesn't even matter if you're an audio listener, but if you're watching the video version, what I'm probably going to do is shrink the logo, make the camera take up a lot more of the screen, probably shift it over to the left hand side, and then maybe I could have like some links or something in there. I don't know. Maybe I'll try something different, but I think that right now the camera's not really taking up as much space as it probably should. Plus, when I'm doing the thumbnails for the solo episodes, it's a little bit difficult to actually cut out the logo part. Luckily, I'm sorry for the audio listeners once again. Luckily, I've got my bed sheet curtain thing, so that's all black, and I can just basically merge the color into that. So it's not a major deal, but it's a little bit more work than I'd rather do. I'd prefer to not have to do any editing to the image itself, and then just basically use it as is. But yeah, I also need some WD-40 for this fucking microphone arm, apparently. Um, Everything is making noise. I bumped the microphone. I fucking moved the arm. I play with this little thing I've got on my desk. This is actually a part of one of my so you guys probably know if you've watched the earlier episodes that I buy these really cheap camera mount thingies. I guess it's like a joint that not converts. I guess it extends the bolt on like a microphone, not microphone, a camera stand or a light stand. They use the same adapter, and this one broke because last night I was finished recording. I bumped the light back there, that one there, the one I bumped on stream the other day. It hit my wall, and then basically the bottom of it, this part here, is the one that attaches to the actual the I guess microphone stand itself. This part attaches to the light, and they just separated. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm probably gonna go and, even though I don't like spending money on stuff like this, I think it's time to actually get some stuff that just won't all of a sudden break, because this isn't the first one that's broken. I've actually had a couple of them break recently. I'll probably go and buy some like small rig adapters. So Small Rig makes really, really high quality adapters. They're basically all metal. Obviously they're a bit more expensive. Let's see if we can find one. Small Rig, camera mount. I don't know exactly what I'm searching for here. Do, 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 do. I'll find. Oh, here we go. Basically, this one right here, but without the clamp part. I just want this bit right here, so I can just have that as a separate thing. Maybe it's like, maybe if I search for like small rig ball mount or something, because I know that's what it is, but I don't know if it's gonna come up like that. Small rig ball mount, ball bound, exactly, ball bound. No, I don't want the fucking clamp. Can I just get the I think we've seen them here somewhere. I saw it was there, and then ah, yeah, that should work. This one right here. Um, the thing is that if I'm spending $14 on the mount, that's basically what I'm spending on the actual stand itself. But the small rig stuff is far, far stronger than what I've been using, and honestly, I expect the light to break before a small rig mount actually does. So I think it's probably not the worst idea to just go and buy them, or at least buy some knockoff ones. Because at least the knockoff ones will be good enough. If they're still metal, we can get cheaper ones here. This one is uh $8. This is the one that's actually on the clamp mount I've got. So, or I guess this one here is $4. Okay, so we actually can get them pretty cheap. That's actually not that bad of a deal then. I will have to go pick up a bunch of those. The problem with the one on the clamp is the clamp one. The clamp one is designed only to go onto the clamp. It's like a slightly modified version of it, so sadly I can't go and use that. But once I get this upgrade, it's not going to matter to you guys. It's just going to be a slight nicety for me, basically. But it does mean that I won't go to record stuff and my fucking light mounts will be broken. So maybe that's an improvement for you guys as well, but you guys won't actually know about it. Yeah, so I was talking about the podcast before I got sidetracked by lights like I normally do. Uh yeah, a year ago I started the podcast. So the reason why I started, let's see if we can find. Can I just go into DuckDuckGo and search for the podcast? Will that show up? Tech over T. It should. I've got enough episodes at this point that it should be indexed properly. Yep, cool. TechOverT.com is still there as well. Go away. You're not the real Tech Over T. I think I've mentioned this before. There actually is there's a blog called Tech Over T that I didn't know about before I started my podcast. I am more popular than them though, so I'll take it. I now own your name. Go away. And I think the domain I own is techoverT.xyz. There's nothing actually on it right now, but that's the one that I have. So, yeah, the reason why I initially started the podcast was because it's honestly just a good excuse to talk to people that I wouldn't really get an excuse to talk to otherwise. Like, for example, the episode that went up last week, I guess it would be now. Yeah, last week, that was with Tim Creef, or I think I say Creef. I'm not sure, it's a French name, and I'm not very good at French. Anyway, he is an indie game dev, and this is just someone that, while we do share a lot of interests, I don't think there'd be any reason for us to like actually talk to each other without something like a podcast, and it's pretty true for a lot of the other people I've talked to as well. Like when I had Mentegra on the show, we chatted about like Odyssey and Library and things like that. I had Nephite on the show. Actually, Nephite's probably one exception because Nephite just hangs out in my Discord, but the Discord as well. Without something like that, there's just a lot of awesome people that just never would have met. Or Kai Hendry, who decided to bully me on YouTube once, and I brought him on the podcast, and just a bunch of other people as well. But I don't know where I'm going to take the podcast going forward. I think I'm just going to basically keep doing the same thing. Probably the only thing you're going to see change is the thumbnails. I've been working on a slightly different design for the thumbnails because I felt like the old one where I had the name of the guest on every single one of the thumbnails made all of the thumbnails look way, way too similar. I think it makes more sense the way I'm doing it now, where on one side of the thumbnail I have a face, and then on the other side I have some sort of image relating to what we're talking about. For example, my one I talked about seltzers, I had a picture of the Smirnoff seltzers, which are really good. They're not actually my favorite seltzers anymore. Do we still have the cans here? No, I got rid of the cans. If you want a good seltzer, go drink the Good Tides raspberry. Good Tides raspberry is really, really good. Anyway, not gonna get into alcohol just yet. Maybe later. I don't know. We'll decide that. We'll decide that when we get there. Anyway, I think I'm going to continue going and doing what I'm doing. I think it makes sense to keep it in the same sort of like very open format. Sometimes I do more interviewee episodes. Sometimes I do complete nonsense episodes. Like anytime Connor comes on the show, Connor usually brings his own list of topics anyway. And when that happens, he doesn't actually send me any of those topics. So I have no idea what we're actually going to talk about until we actually get onto the episode. Obviously, I have my topics, but if he's like, hey, let's talk about some random ass conspiracy that I've been thinking about, I don't know about that beforehand. Which I think ends up making for some kind of fun episodes. Sadly, the last one with Connor didn't actually do that well. Usually, Connor's episodes actually are fairly well performing episodes, but I guess this time, I don't know, maybe people are just really wanting a another Linux guest to come on. I do need to go and arrange someone like that. When yeah, Kaizen episode did fairly well actually. I don't know who I'm gonna try to get on. There's a couple of smaller Linux channels I want to get on, and there's a couple of people like say Mental Outlaw who I would love to bring on the show, who I have no idea how to get in contact with. If anyone knows how to get in contact with Mental Outlaw, please do let me know, because on his YouTube channel, his YouTube channel, he doesn't actually have anything listed, like no email address, no website, at least not that I can see. Yeah, all he's got there is he's got a library account, which I didn't actually know he had. Uh, but there's nothing else here. Literally nothing else. You have library, and then on his videos, what you have what do you have? You have Huxley, which I recently actually just found. Oh, that's full screen. You can't actually see most of it. There we go. He's got Tuxie. He's got a bunch of crypto addresses, and that's it. So I don't know how to contact him, but I know some people who do know him, so maybe I'll get them on the podcast and go through that. That's one way I could go about doing it. It's certainly an option, that's for sure. But there's some small Linux channels who I think, if they notice me pinging them on like Mastodon or on Twitter, then I think they'll very much be up for actually coming onto the show. Do I actually have a list of people? Maybe. If anyone actually has any guest suggestions, feel free to let me know. If you have someone who is you like actually want to see on the show, let me know in the comments section. But unless you know how to actually contact that person, don't send me an email about it, because I'm well aware that like people exist. Like I know that Mental Outlaw exists. I know that Luke exists. You don't need to email about those people telling me that, hey, I should bring them on the show. If you want to let me know in the comment section though, that's a completely different story. So one of my Discord guys, Gavin, he wants to come on the show. He's got a YouTube channel. I watched a few of his videos. They're pretty cool videos. He does videos on like Groff and things like that. Was it Trough? I don't know. One of the two of them. I always get the two confused because I don't actually care, but it's Groff or Trough. They basically do the same thing. I know someone's gonna hate me for that. There's like Keep It Techie on here. Tom on the Internet, Average Linux User. I do want to bring on the guy who runs Gaming on Linux, whose name is completely escaping me right now. Someone probably realizes what his name is, and I'm completely forgetting it. But you know who, if you've ever read Gaming on Linux, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The guy who writes all of the articles on there. I think he'd be a fun guest. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone who I wouldn't want to bring on the show who I've thought about. Like even people like the Linux Gamer and Lunduk, who I kind of don't really care about their content, I think still would make fun guests, just picking their minds about whatever it is that comes up. Especially talking to Lunduk about, say, like Linux Sucks, because Linux Sucks was, I think, one of the first things that actually got me interested in looking into Linux. Obviously, most of my information ended up coming from, wow, I cannot speak. Ended up coming from people like Luke and DT, but that initial spark, that was actually lit up by Lunduk. So yeah, I think he would be a fun one to talk to. Plus, the podcast would basically just be me picking his brain about like really old computers because I don't think he actually I think Luke is probably like what how do I describe it? If you take Lunduk's interest in like modern tech and you stick that in Luke, then you probably actually have someone who just doesn't use computers anymore. But hey, that probably made no sense. That made sense in my head, and then I said it like, wait, nah. That's nonsense, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh, it's fucking hot. Did I say already that my air conditioner's broken? I don't know, because if I didn't, my air conditioner is fucking broken. It is currently, how hot is it? Hot is how hot it is. Um, Weather. It is currently 35 degrees Celsius, and it's going to still get warmer. It's going to be 37 degrees Celsius today, and I have no air conditioner. And there's basically no wind as well. So even if I open up the window, it doesn't really help. Why? I don't know. So, we had technician. Wow, I cannot speak. We had a technician come out, I think like 7:30 this morning, and he said that the engine on the air conditioner is a little bit broken. This is like a ducting system, so it's like up on the roof. And it's apparently going to cost like $1,200 to fix, which is really good. But I think that's probably a better solution. Just go and pay that as quickly as possible, rather than letting my housemate run the fucking alternative solution that she's got. So she went and bought this like house unit one. It's not one you stick in the wall. It's one of those ones that has like a pipe that goes into the wall, and it's like you want to just stick in the middle of your room. And I looked at the Energy Star ratings on it. So I don't know if other countries have like an equivalent of this, but Australia has a thing called the energy. What is it called? Energy Star rating. Energy Star rating. I should know this. The Energy Star rating basically is how I guess energy efficient something is. And I didn't know this was possible, but it has a 0-star rating. And the less stars you have, basically, the less energy efficient it is. Um, yeah, so I expect that running that for the next couple of weeks is probably going to end up costing us more than just replacing the fucking engine in the air conditioner anyway. So I hope she decides to just pay it if she can't afford it. Like, I can help her out with it, but I really don't want that fucking air conditioner to be running anymore because I can just see the money ticking up in my head. I'm like, this thing is a fucking stupid purchase. Like, you could spend a couple $100 more and save so much money rather than buying something that cheap. Never ever buy a really cheap air conditioner like that because you're just gonna spend so much money trying to run it that buying something more expensive is gonna basically outpace it within the first at least the first month. And even though it's February here and we're technically in, is it autumn? I don't fucking know. I don't know how seasons work in this country anymore. Is it? I don't even know. Is it autumn? Let's find out. Australia Australia season. When does summer end? Um Australia current season. What season is it? Um Okay, no, it's still technically summer. Okay. So autumn is supposed to be next month. I don't expect it to cool down because the rest of this week is going to be still high 30s, which is fun. Is it going to be high 30s? Oh no, it cools down a bit on Sunday when I'm sure. Okay. At least I'm not here for the weekend and I get to enjoy air conditioning then. Because I'm going up in my I'm going to be up at my parents' place. I think I'm tripping over my words more often than I have been in the past now. I've noticed this when I'm recording like regular episodes or regular videos as well. Maybe I'm just more conscious of tripping up over words, and because I'm more conscious of it, I end up tripping more. Does that make sense? Maybe it makes sense. I don't know. But when I'm recording videos, some videos go by really quickly. And then I did a, I think, 11-minute video the other day. Usually those take me like anywhere from 45 to an hour to record. And this one took like an hour 15. And when I got to editing, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a really long video. Because usually when it's an hour 15, it's usually like a 15, 20-minute video. Nope. Nope, not at all. Um, Hopefully the video I record this afternoon isn't going to be as much of a pain. But we'll see how it goes. Because usually I don't record videos on Wednesday. The reason why I am recording a video, though, is because actually, I'll show you this, guy. Yeah, I'll show you this because the podcast will be out by the time this video's out. This morning, LastPass decided to basically kill their company. I don't know what they're thinking with this. Basically, they decided to modify their free tier. Um, and this Verge article is actually fairly nice to it, but I think that this basically makes LastPass useless. So, LastPass is adding new restrictions to its free subscription tier starting on March 16th that'll only allow users to view and manage passwords on one category of device, mobile or computer. So, basically, if you have a LastPass account and you have LastPass on your computer, that like those passwords will only be associated with the computer. And if you want to have passwords on your mobile, you then need a second LastPass account. And you can go and migrate your passwords between the two systems, but you can only do it 3 times. So, or I guess you can like migrate your account. So one thing you could do is you could go and download your passwords and then update them on the mobile version, which is a really inconvenient way to do it. I don't know what they're thinking with this because it would be one thing if okay, here's a good example of it. YouTube can basically do whatever they want because at least a couple of years ago because there wasn't really any decent competitor to YouTube. And if LastPass was the only password manager out there, that would be the case as well. LastPass could do whatever stupid shit they wanted to do and it wouldn't actually matter. But Bitwarden exists and KeyPass exists and what is it? NordVault, NordPass, NordVPN has one as well. All of these also exist and they don't have this limitation. So LastPass is basically taking the strategy of we can make people stop using the free version by disincentivizing the free version rather than incentivizing the paid version. But people who don't want to pay, which is a lot of the LastPass users, are just going to go over to Bitwarden because you can export your passwords from LastPass and import them into Bitwarden. So you literally don't need to care about your LastPass account. And I deleted LastPass, God, a year ago or something because I don't need it. It's like Bitwarden is just so much better. Also has a much nicer interface, which is a nice plus. And if you do want to go pay for if you do want to go pay for Bitwarden, I think you just get like some encrypted data or something like that. At least LastPass does say this. LastPass says no user will be locked out of their accounts or lose access to their passwords as a result of the changes. But if you use multiple devices, you're effectively going to be locking out one of the devices. So, yeah. Compared to a lot of other password managers, which ask you to subscribe even for their basic features, LastPass's free tier has always been pretty generous, but these upcoming changes could make it a lot harder to use the service for free in the future. I don't know what services they're thinking about that you have to pay just to be able to share your passwords between your devices. That seems to be like a basic free feature that every password manager that is worth looking at actually has. And there's a couple of people simping for LastPass in the comment section. Most of the people here though are kind of grilling them. This person here says, although customers are restricted to a single category of devices on the free tier, they'll still be able to view and manage passwords from an unlimited number of devices within either the mobile or computer category. The scary headline isn't so scary at all. It's only about changing the ability to manage your passwords on one tier device rather than view and presumably use them on different tiers. If so, it's not going to make that much difference. It's not like the Evernote debacle, which cut off all kinds of functionality suddenly and stopped access from more than 2 devices. And if we scroll down a bit, God, that's not what I want to do. Let me, there we go. That's what I want to do. There's a link there I wanted, link there I wanted to see. Where was it? Do, 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 do. I know someone did mention in here. Yeah, here we go. It's not just managing passwords that's limited to one type of device, it's password viewing as well. I forgot that LastPass was actually owned by LogMeIn. Let's see. Let's see. Where does it say that? Here we go. So Steve is LastPass free user with mobile devices as their active device type. Steve has added a lot of passwords and items to their vault, and some of which were added when they were using a computer or laptop. Now that Steve has chosen to use or to make mobile devices their active device type, all of their passwords and stored vault items, even those added previously from a computer, will continue to be available in their vault. However, to view and manage all passwords and vault items going forward, they must access LastPass from a mobile device, as many as they want to. That's not really a selling point, unless they upgrade to LastPass Premium or Families. What in the world are they thinking here? Why would you make it so you could only, Okay, this is... I'm seeing mixed messages here. I'm not sure if they're saying you can only view passwords on one device, or if you can view passwords on any device, and their PR company is basically or their PR team has no idea what they're doing. Because right here it says you can only view and manage all passwords on the mobile device going forward, but there's other resources that say you can manage on multiple devices. I'm gonna be looking more into this afterwards. So yeah, and then this person here is saying pick a category and the service becomes useless on the other. I will have to have a look more into it. Yeah, because even people in the comment section seem to have no idea what's going on here, whether it's going to be manage or view. If it's view, or if you can't view your passwords on your mobile device if you choose computer, that's basically killing their company. If you can still view them but you can't manage them, that's not really as big of a deal. It's still a pretty annoying feature because sometimes, say, I'll have passwords that I only use on my mobile device. I'll need to update the password, and then I update it on the mobile because, I'm using the password on the mobile. Then I would have to go and update it on the computer or something like that, which is a really weird decision. View is not... Oh, manage is... Fuck. Being able to view and not manage, not as bad. Not being able to do either makes the app completely useless. So I'll look more into it. But either way, it's dumb. Because you can just go to Bitwarden and it doesn't matter. And if you really do care about, say, having all your passwords stored where they're being stored, you can always just go and self-host it. And that's not something that's actually available to do with LastPass. LastPass, you're basically just stuck using LastPass as they tell you to use it. I got my friends and family using this in Google Photos. Why would you get them using Google Photos? What? Let's see how many people are recommending Bitwarden here. 34 comments. Sorry, not 34. 53 comments mentioning Bitwarden in here. That makes sense. Because Bitwarden is not going to do stupid things. Because even if they did, you could just fork the repo. And someone would if they did. For your information, with Bitwarden, you can set up your own server so that your passwords are only stored wherever you want them. I could see that being an attractive option for anyone with the technical know-how to set up their own server and safely expose the internet. That's beyond my skill set, though. Anyone still on the free tier should move to Bitwarden. Bitwarden is awesome. I had a LastPass paid a long time ago and forgot why I stopped using it because at the time it just didn't feel useful. I recommend Bitwarden to everyone, and everyone I know has loved it. Another Bitwarden convert here. Yep, Bitwarden, Bitwarden, Bitwarden. Everyone's saying Bitwarden. Some people are saying NPass as well. I haven't actually heard of NPass. There are people complaining about LogMeIn in here, which also makes a lot of sense as well. I do not see a way to autofill on the browser extension for Bitwarden. Have you never used Bitwarden before? That's literally how it functions. What? What are you talking about? You just log in and you click autofill and it autofills. People who've never used Bitwarden complaining they don't know about things that Bitwarden can do. Yay. Oh, lordy lord. It's fucking hot. Oh, next thing. Let's move on. Let's move on from Bitwarden. And let's talk about video editing. So obviously I've been doing the series. Yes, that's what it's called. The series where I try out different video editors. And I hadn't actually found one that I genuinely liked until I tried out Olive. So far I've tried out things like, what did I try out? Flowblade and Blender. And in the past, I've used things like OpenShot, and obviously, I was previously working with Kdenlive. And honestly, it felt like all of the ones I tried up until Olive were sort of just lacking what Kdenlive had, even though Kdenlive's not a good application. If your baseline is Kdenlive, it's still a pretty high baseline, even with Kdenlive being as buggy as it actually is. But I tried out Olive, and I've heard a lot of good things about Olive from so many people, and you know what? Those people were right, because Olive actually is a really, really good video editor. I think I've got my video on that coming out. I think it's going to come out on Saturday now. Initially, it was going to come out. Oh, I guess it would have come out already by now. But Saturday, as of the recording of this episode, so it's Wednesday the 17th right now. But it should come out. Yeah, it'll be out by then. Yeah, because tomorrow, as the recording of this, is going to be my last pass Bitwarden video. Yeah, I might talk about things besides Bitwarden, but Bitwarden's going to be my focus just because that's the password manager I use. And if there are still people using LastPass, I think this is probably a good enough reason to just ditch LastPass altogether. Whether you really care about being able to manage your passwords on every device, if they're just deciding, okay, we'll arbitrarily remove free features that all of our competitors already have, then I think that's a good enough reason to say, fuck you guys, we're just not going to use your product anymore. And honestly, you shouldn't be using LastPass anyway, because Bitwarden's just better. What was I saying? Oh, video editors, right. So, Olive is... It's a little buggy, because I'm running Olive 0.1.2, which is the version from April 2019, I believe. Yeah, April 2019. The reason why I'm running that version rather than one of the newer versions, Olive is still in alpha regardless, but the newest version of Olive, at least for like the past year or so, has had a pretty bad memory leak. So I've tried out a lot of the different daily builds. Get Olive, that's where we go. Nightly builds, I was going with daily build. I've tried a bunch of different nightly builds, and every single one of them crashes in basically the same way. You know, I want to go to nightly. That's not the one I want. No, that was nightly. See more nightly builds. That's the one I want. Okay, last update was on the 30th, apparently. I know there's a lot of background coding that's being done right now, so I feel like that's why there hasn't been an update in a while, because on the repo there have still been a lot of changes. Anyway, the memory leak it had basically caused it to use, I think it ended up using 32 gigs of RAM, so all of the RAM I have on my system, and then crash. When I rendered like a 5-minute video, it was fine. It would stop at like 18 gigs of RAM, which was already a pretty bad sign that something weird was happening. But when I went up to 10 minutes, yeah, it didn't know what to do. It used up all of the RAM, froze, and crashed. And that wasn't just a one-time thing. Every single time I tried to run it, it would keep doing the exact same thing. So I presume it was specifically a problem with the way that Olive in this version was actually functioning. I guess not in just this version, the version of the past couple of years, really, or past. Yeah, actually, really, would be the past couple of years because everything after 0.1.2 basically has that problem. Once that problem's dealt with, though, I'm very excited to actually try out Olive properly because what they're doing is they're going to be replacing the traditional editor with like a node-based editor, similar to something like Adobe Premiere, I believe. And with that, basically, it's going to completely change the way the workflow functions, but it should make it much easier to go and, apply effects to multiple clips at the same time or automate a lot of stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff that's happening with Olive, and unlike Caden Live, so this is, I think, one of the big reasons why I prefer Olive over Caden Live. Caden Live is sort of putting the cart before the horse. It's trying to add all of these cool new features, cool high-tech advanced features, while the baseline is still kind of buggy. Olive, on the other hand, it's got a lot of the stuff you generally need for most people on YouTube, but it's also mainly working on the baseline and trying to get the baseline actually to a point where it's decent. And I think that's a much better way to handle it. So let's go to, I think it's, if we go into node arch changes or something, yeah, here we go. That one? Okay, there's not as many changes as I thought there were. During January, there are a lot more changes, though. I guess he might be taking a bit of a break. I'm not too sure. There's really only one dude working on this, though, so I don't know how long it's going to take for 0.2 to come out. I think initially it was supposed to be out last year, but video editors are a fairly big program, so rewriting one from the ground up is going to be probably just as big of a task. Yeah. This yawning actually leads us into a perfect topic, doesn't it? So, I am really, really bad with sleep right now. I don't know what it is. I keep going to sleep like roughly when I intend to, but for whatever reason, I'm waking up and I'm just fucking exhausted all of the time. Maybe it's the fact that my sleep just isn't that great. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's the fact that it's fucking summer still and it's hot at night. I I don't know. I think one thing it could be is that I haven't really been I haven't really been like reading before I go to bed. That's something I was doing for quite a while, and I noticed that not looking at my phone until like the second I went to bed did actually help kind of a bit at the time. I think maybe because I'm not doing that anymore, it is definitely actually taking its toll now. But oh, don't bump the fucking light. I don't want to break it again. Oh. Oh, am I gonna cut the yawns? No, I'm not gonna do that because that's too much effort. Oh, I do have an empty iced coffee here. Maybe I should have went and bought another one before I started the podcast. That might have helped. What if opening my door will help, actually? You know what? We're going to keep the podcast going. I'm going to open my door, and maybe that will cool the room down. I don't think it will, though. And I can bring the mic over with me, and hey, that works, I guess. Oh, no, that actually made a massive difference. Wow. I did not think that would be such a big difference. There's like a fan on out there, because I've got like a dog out there, and the dog, can't deal with heat, because it has medical issues that, yeah. Anyway, so there's a fan on there, and obviously having the fan on in here when I have a mic here probably wasn't going to be the best idea. So no fan. Even though I have noticed that with the ducting, it is actually kind of fine. Probably because the air is like hitting the side of the mic that isn't actually recording anything. Because this is like a cardioid mic, so it actually doesn't record from like the back of the mic. That's probably what's doing it. I don't know. But yeah, that's I should have done that earlier. That's so much nicer. Oh my god. The problem with this room is it's a very small room, so it tends to heat up very quickly. And I have I guess you'd call it a heater next to my feet, also known as a computer. And yeah, So this room tends to get pretty bad pretty quickly. But what are you going to do about it? Really? What are you going to do about it? One day, I'll have my own place that has working air conditioning. I don't know when the air conditioner here is going to get fixed. Hopefully relatively soon, but I reckon it's probably going to get fixed by the time we go into autumn when we're not going to need it. Which isn't the best, but if that's what's going to have to happen, then that's what's going to have to happen, isn't it? Fun times. Fun times, fun times. I'm generally pretty good with the heat. Like, I usually record the podcast without the air conditioner on, but it's just been really bad the past couple of days. It's been like mid to high 30s, which isn't fun. It's not fun at all, especially when you're trying to record stuff because obviously lights being LED lights, they don't put off that much heat, but it does definitely light up the room. Definitely does light up the room. Yes, the lights do light up the room. It definitely does heat up the room more than I would like, because there is like 5 of them. There's those 2 there. There's that one there. There's one there, and there's one on the roof as well. So it is a lot of lights. I don't know where I'm going with this actually. I have no fucking clue. Yeah, opening up the door didn't help with me being tired though. I'm usually less tired when I'm talking to someone though. Yeah, probably that's probably gonna be part of the reason, or part of the influence for it, isn't it? And I can technically mute the microphone, but there's no mute button. So if I wanted to like mute it every time I yawn, I have to like go and turn the volume. And I said that I said volume knob while I was turning the volume knob down. I have to turn the volume knob down. Yeah, that's how volume works, Brody. Make sure you finish what you're saying before you stop people being able to say stop stop people being able to hear you. How does the English language work? I don't know. Why am I learning Japanese when I can barely speak English? Fucked if I know. Anyway, one other thing I want to talk about. So, I don't know what the deal is, but recently I've been getting a lot of these emails from companies trying, and not just companies, from individuals as well, trying to get me to take on various forms of advertising. Now, I'm not against advertising at all. As you guys probably know from the fact that I work with Linode on the main channel. But I've had some emails recently where it's just like, oh my god, okay, what is this one? Okay, now this is someone who's just generally asking a question. Uh, Hi Brody. I'm a recent physicist that started using Linux some years ago, but with distros like Mint. My goal is to learn how Linux works. It's a tool that I'll use for the rest of my life, and I would like to improve my knowledge. Manjaro, it's nice. Manjaro is nice, but there's a lot behind the scenes. That's why I want to go for Arch. My goal is to wait. No, I read that. I want to go for Arch with a window manager, with the VM with Arch with wait with the VM with Arch DWM. I learned things like Ulcer and Pulse. A little bit of Xorg, manage wallpaper, clipboard, power manager, etc., 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 and things like this that Manjaro does for itself without telling me Jaeger. I don't know what Jaeger is. You could just install i3 Manjaro, then you get basically the same thing. So my question, and do not bother you anymore, is what are the essential programs you need to install in a fresh Arch with a window manager? I ask this because there are things that I don't know that are needed, like a clipboard. I recently discovered there's an independent program. Well, you have a clipboard, just that you don't have a clipboard manager. Anyway, I think I've got a video. I should probably do a video about like starting up on a window manager, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Anyway, let's see. Can we find some of these weird ones? Oh yeah, someone who asked me to do some like paid consulting. I don't know why anyone wants paid consulting from me. I don't know. And some other person was like, "Hey, what's your hourly rate to like do some pair programming and help me set up Vim?" Like, I have no idea. What are you on about? I have literally no idea. Like most of the stuff that I cover on my channel, I include links for. Like I've had some people ask me, yeah, another person who was asking me to do to help me set up their system with my dot files. Like the dot files are all there. You just put them in your .config folder and then you download the programs. Like I don't think that's really that difficult. It'd be one thing if they're asking like, "Oh, how do I actually set this up?" Using like how do I set this up myself with the dot files and all that. But when it's just like, "Hey, I know your dot files are there. Can you help me set it up?" Like what am I helping? Like that's not to say that I like these people shouldn't be asking these questions. That's fine. If you don't know how to do it, that's all good. I'm just not really sure whether I'd be comfortable taking someone's money to do something like that when it's just that simple. Like I'm more than happy to do free videos where I show you how to set that stuff up. But yeah, maybe I'll do some consulting at some point. But I don't think it really makes sense for that. And some of the other things that I've had people ask me to do consulting for, um, I'd be even less comfortable talking about just because I don't really have the the knowledge to actually talk about something like that. Let's see. What was this person asking for? So this person asked me to do things like career advice. Why are you asking me for career advice? I make videos on the internet. I don't fucking know. I just make it up as I go. Some discussion around a video, which I don't think there's any reason why I would make someone pay to discuss around a video, or technical consultation. Of all the people you're gonna come to for technical consultation, that I'm not the right person. I make videos on the internet. Like there are people who actually know what they're talking about who it makes sense to pay. I'm not that person. There are YouTubers who actually have the knowledge to do that. I'm just the dude who dicks around on Linux, and that's not like my what is it called? Fucking um my imposter syndrome. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not good at this. Like no, I genuinely don't have the knowledge required to do some of the things that people have asked me to do in these in some of these emails. Otherwise, yeah, I probably would do it. Except for the ones where I don't think there's any. I don't think I could be like a morally good person to make you pay for it. Like setting up my dot files. Like they're free. I can help you do that for free in my Discord. That's fine. Also, you probably don't need that much help. Just copy into .config. That's basically what you need to do. And there's been a couple other. I thought I heard my roller door open. There's been a couple other ones like that as well, where, or a couple not like that. A couple of the weird emails I've got. Like there was one from a game dev team who I guess they think that I run a gaming channel, and they sent, or at least they think my main channel is a gaming channel, because I do have a secondary channel where I do gaming, but they decided that they want to send it to my main channel. They weren't looking for like an advertising deal, because I probably wouldn't do it on the main channel unless you're like Raid Shadow Legend, you got the big bank. Um, or if you're like an anime game, yes, I'd probably advertise you just for the lols. But they just wanted me to like play the game or something, which didn't make any sense to me. Like I have a gaming channel, and if you want to send it to the gaming channel, I'd be happy to answer it there. Main channel though, I'm not sure. Are you asking me to cover it on the main channel? Are you asking for it on the gaming channel? That's one of the big reasons why I do have those separate emails, because if people just send everything to the same email, it's going to be very difficult to work out what they're actually trying to interact with. Like if someone says, "Hey, you should bring this person onto your show," like what show? My podcast, my game streams, my I don't know, maybe do a live show on the main channel. Like what are you actually asking for? That's why I try to make a big deal about sending to the correct email. I think if other creators have different emails for their different platforms as well, their different outlets, make sure you use the correct email, because I'll at least read the email and maybe I'll respond asking like, what is this exactly for? Other people though get far more emails than I do, and don't really have the time to go and do that. So basically just make the person you're trying to communicate with life slightly easier, and then maybe they'll actually answer you. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe it doesn't matter to most other people, but I think having some level of organization there is definitely going to help most people out. Even though it's cooler in here, it's still not cool. It's still 30 fucking 7 degrees. um Oh yeah, I was actually looking at my topics for the solo episode. So usually what happens is when I plan out a solo episode, yeah, we'll go with that. When I plan out a solo episode, I usually add a bunch of topics, and a lot of them I don't usually get to, and I occasionally forget to clear them out. So I looked through there, and I had some topics from like 6 months ago that wouldn't at all be relevant now. For example, like at the time, I guess I was using Unity a lot, like the game engine, not the desktop environment. And there are a lot of things specifically relating to like the Unity lighting system and the Unity Unity Pro Builder and things like that, which I don't really have as much to say about now. I can still rant about how broken the default lighting in Unity is, how by default it's got it so lights can go through walls for some reason. I don't know why that's the default. And I don't mean through transparent walls. I mean through solid walls, lights can go through. Why is that the default? I don't know. And a couple other things, like I think there was one relating to a DT video that had come out at the time, and other things like that. Let's see what's still on there, because I have cleared most of them out. Oh yeah, my video recommendations at the time were basically just full of Andrew Schultz's videos. What's there now? I actually don't know. Probably like a lot of abroad in Japan. Okay, actually that makes perfect sense. So we have Fruit, we have Sea Dog, we have Iron Mouse, random Kingdom Hearts videos, because I have been watching some of those recently. Don't ask why. I watched one, I love Kingdom Hearts, and now there's lots of Kingdom Hearts here. We have Reina, I guess because I watched it was a Anime Man video with Reina, and then I guess it's like, hey, time to recommend Reina, and then Abroad in Japan. That makes sense. Yeah. I really do love Abroad in Japan's channel. I have watched a lot of his videos, and I hadn't watched any until like I guess a couple of weeks back. I think that's sort of what happens with YouTube. You find one thing you like, then YouTube's like, hey, I see you really like this thing. Do you want to watch 100 videos from this creator? Or 100 videos in this style? Like, maybe. That's what happens with, or what happened initially when I discovered VTubers. It was like, hey, you like Korone? Do you want to watch Okayu? Do you want to watch Azuki? Do you want to watch Sora? Like, sure, why not? I don't know why those were the Hololive members I went with, but that's what we're going with. Because I wouldn't even say any of those besides like Korone. I watch too often actually. Sora, yeah, Sora I do watch. I think mainly right now I end up watching a lot of English VTubers actually, but when I was watching a lot of Hololive stuff, there was who was I watching? I was watching a lot of Odysseus, because Odysseus is great. Korone, recently some Nene and Lami. Okayu is great, and I'm actually trying to think. Oh, Coco. Whenever Coco did a meme review with anyone, I would have to watch that, because you have to get them. You have to hear the very say so Hololive members saying "Good morning, motherfuckers," because that's very important. Very important content right there. But recently, I've been watching a lot of Iron Mouse, who is not very say so. He was not very say so at all. Iron Mouse, Nyanas, and Melody, because you gotta. This is how the English VTubers take over. Fuck trying to be say so. Just say fuck all the time, and if you're Iron Mouse I don't know, talk about dicks or something. Yeah, that basically sums up an iMouse clip, doesn't it? It's like, hey, lewd, dick. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I recommend Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse is fun. Nyana's also definitely a lot of fun as well. Melody, I don't watch as much Project Melody, but when they're doing group stuff together, I'll definitely check it out for sure. Same with like Silvervale. I don't really watch much Silvervale or Zen, but obviously being in the same group, they do a lot of collab stuff together, and I'll usually watch the collabs. Like if they do like a VR chat collab, I'll watch that, or whatever other collabs they decide to do, Minecraft collab, things like that. Always a lot of fun like that. But by themselves, it's still fun. It's just I find Nyanas and Iron Mouse more fun. Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. What else do we have on here? Let's just go for Australian or from it. You want to see what I'm saying? Yeah, boy. I really have to clean up my accent for my videos. Like, I think this is something. If you go back to my first videos, you'll notice that I have a kind of a much stronger accent than I do now. I've sort of had to like level it out to make it so people can actually understand me. Because the Australian accent it's always going to be fairly nasally, but you can clean it up to the point where people can understand you. But if I decide, like, I'm just going to go to the country for a while, I can very easily slip back into this fucking saying, oh, you fucking dog. Oh, you fucking dog. Fucking dog is the best insult, actually. Let's go down to the fucking petrol station, get some fucking ciggies, bruh. Eh? Yes, get some fucking ciggies. I know what I'm doing. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Maybe I should live stream this at some point. But I like the podcast being offline because it means that I can edit them when I do something stupid like show a password, which I think I've done once before. Um, yeah. Make sure you edit stuff like that out, because leaving stuff like that in, bad idea. Very bad idea. Should be obvious, but keep that in mind. Yes. What are we at? We're almost at an hour, aren't we? Wow. That went by quick. Did it? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it'd go by quicker if it wasn't so fucking hot. Maybe I'll make a compilation of me just complaining that it's hodl. Hodl? Yeah, that's hodl. Maybe I'll just make a compilation of me complaining that it's hot in this episode. That would be a clip that takes more effort than I feel like putting in. When I do clips for the podcast, I'm so lazy. I barely even cut out the silences. I probably should do at least that, but usually I just say, oh, here's a section that sounds kind of interesting. Cut that and just leave it as is. Even though with the gaming channel, which I care even less about, I actually do cut out a lot of the silence. I think because in the gaming channel, there's a lot more silence than I would like there to be. So getting rid of that probably makes a lot of sense. At least in my head. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm completely out of it. But I think if I didn't cut the silence, then a lot of those clips that were like a minute or two long would end up being like 5 or 6 minutes. Because I'm not the best streamer. Because I don't really plan the streams out as much as I should, at least. Because I probably should be probably should have a topic list like I do for the solo episodes, and that would make it so if I run out of things in the game to talk about, then I could still be talking about something. But it also doesn't really help that a lot of the games I've been playing have been not the best discussion games, I would say. Like Hades, for example. When I play Hades, I'm typically trying to focus a lot. I think this is going to change when I actually go and play something like, say, Terraria, or I play through the Spyro series, things like that. Games like that are a lot easier to just, chill. Terraria has its points, like when you're doing a boss battle, but most of the bosses in that game you can kind of cheese, and Spyro is an easy game as well. If it's anything like the original Spyro games, like the remakes of them, if they're anything like the original ones, it's not that difficult. You can kind of like turn your brain off and just play. Even though even though I probably still will fuck it up. Like I almost fucked up a boss fight in a Ty the Tasmanian Tiger of all games. I forgot how to defeat the bull boss, and yeah, that went well. I basically lost all of my health. Like, wait, oh yeah, I have to make him run into the pillars, don't I? Spoiler for a 10-year-old game: make the bull run into the pillars. Um, but yeah, if you're not paying attention, I guess maybe at some point you'll fuck it up, even if it is a kid's game. I don't think I'd be able to have a proper discussion if I was playing something like, say, Dark Souls, for example. Even though I've played so many hundreds of hours of Dark Souls, I usually take like very big breaks between my big Dark Souls sessions that end up forgetting how the game actually works. I really need to stop doing that because that's when by stretching, that's how I end up hitting the light. Oh wow, that's way closer than I thought it was. I don't know if it's obvious, but yeah, it literally it there right there. It's within reaching distance. I can put it over my head like this. There is a really big delay. Wow. There we go. Oh no, I shouldn't have moved it. There we go. It's good. Too far back? Probably too far back. I don't fucking know. I always just fiddle with the lights while I'm recording an episode, don't I? Even like if I have a guest on, I'm like, oh, the light's not in exactly the position I want it to be in. I move it, it's still not in the exact position, but I realize that I probably should just stop moving it. Oh yeah, I just remembered. Because of that Bitwarden thing, because of that LastPass thing, not Bitwarden thing. I did a video on Bitwarden, I think a year ago. It was migrating from LastPass to Bitwarden, and that video out of nowhere has just. So let's see if I can find the analytics on that one. Like, it's not as crazy as I would like it to be. It's not like it just suddenly shot up to like 20 or 30,000 views. That would be awesome. But a video that no one was watching, all of a sudden, people are watching again. And I think it's going to be like that for at least like another couple of days. Okay, maybe it's slowed down a little bit. Here we go. Look at that crazy revenue I made from this video. A whole $7. This video that no one was watching. One video every like maybe couple of hours, or one view every couple of hours. All of a sudden, whoosh. Oh my god! Look at that! Look at that camera angle though. What was I thinking with that? I'm gonna play this. I recently decided to migrate. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, okay. Let's go to the actual video. I recently decided. Oh my god, what am I looking at? Oh, mute that. What is the beard doing? Why is the beard so long? Why didn't you shave? Let's. There was no decent lighting. Back then I was using the white light. So. Wow. Wow, what an old, terribly, terribly made video. Who was on my Patreon at that time? Who's still here? Joachim's still here. Yeah, he's been here for ages. Is Nathan still here? Wait, I want to check. I don't want to say anyone's missing when they're not actually missing. Patrons. Yeah, Nathan's still there. Nathan's still in the $16 tier. Andre's still there. Peter D is still there in the $4 tier. Road left a while ago. Tony is still there. Donald is still there, but now Donald's in the $32 tier. And LQ Larry left a while ago. And Zilva is still in the $2 tier. Wow, I didn't realize these guys were around for so long. That's actually kind of crazy. It's awesome. Like, it's awesome that even after an entire year, I guess it's more like 9 months, there are still some people who are watching my content and who still think the content is good enough where they want to actually monetarily support it. I think at this point, the video, or the content, not so much. Like, there was a lot of work that needed to be done. Like, what is this angle? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why the beard's so long. Now I think, however, the content is much better. I wouldn't say good. I would say better though. See, what's in my polybar? So I've got my, I think that one there is for crypto. Yeah, that one there's for crypto. That's torrents. That's package downloads. Wow, I had 6K subs at the time this video came out, and 90 on the podcast. Wow. Okay. CPU usage, CPU temp. Yeah, CPU temp. Memory, volume, weather, and then the date. Oh, we actually recorded this one and uploaded it the day after. Why the fuck did I do that? Wait, at this time, was I still doing daily videos? Maybe. Maybe I was. When did I stop doing daily videos? I thought it was way longer than that. I thought it was way longer that I, like, fucking stopped being insane. Yeah, if you didn't know, originally, like, with the videos that I do, I wasn't just recording a bulk videos and then uploading it each day. I was actually recording, editing, and uploading the day of. Not a good idea. Because what happened is I realized I had no fucking free time. Because every single day, I had to make a video. It was such a stupid idea. I don't know why I ever thought that doing it like that was a good idea. Oh, wait. I can see... Am I going to be able to see it? No. Okay, damn. I was looking at my file manager, and I could see the video that I had done at the time. That was Git Messenger. I have no idea what Git Messenger even is. But what was I saying? Right. Yeah, I have no idea what Git Messenger is, but apparently did a video on it. Anyway, yeah, I was doing daily videos. I would never, ever, ever suggest doing that. I don't know how people do like monthly videos and then do them like basically the day of they record and upload. I think that'd be really stressful. I want to have some sort of backlog. So right now, I usually record and have 7 videos in advance. So if I need to stop doing something for a couple of days, there will still be videos to come out. And that I feel like is just a much nicer way to do it. Now, sometimes I do record and edit and upload day of, but that's because something I want to hit is a really, really pressing topic. Like, for example, the last past thing I'm going to talk about. But most things I don't really care about that. Even news topics, a lot of the time I'm very late to the topic and I'll just hit it like a couple of days later. Because usually news doesn't come out on the weekend. There's a couple of exceptions. Usually though, the news is like either at the start of the week and then I just change what topics I'm going to do right then and there, or it comes out at the end of the week when I'm actually planning my videos. So either way, it usually ends up getting done fairly quickly. The advantage of doing videos day of, though, is you can always make sure if you want to have timely content, the content will be timely. But let's say you wanted to go, I don't know, let's say you wanted to go camping for the weekend or something. Well, you have no videos planned out, so either you have no videos for that weekend, or you bulk record when you're used to doing stuff day of. Bulk recording is fine. When you... I just spit a little bit. Bulk recording is fine if you do bulk recording all of the time. When you need to just suddenly out of nowhere record 3 videos, then it's like, holy crap, this is a lot of work. That's how yeah. So when I initially started doing bulk recording, I was actually doing it over, I think, 4 days. So at the time, I was doing 7 videos a week rather than 6 in a live stream. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was doing 2 videos. And then Thursday, obviously, I only had 1 left. So I'd do 1 video. And over time, I've sort of compressed that down. Then I went to, I think it was 3, 2, and 2. So that took me down to 3 days. Now I'm doing, or then I went to, I think, 5 and 2. Was it? No, it was 4 and 3. Yeah, it was 4 and 3. And then now I'm doing a live stream a week. So now it's only 6 videos you need to record. So now it's 4 and 2. I'm probably gonna keep up with the one live stream a week. Maybe I'll go to two, but I think one's probably fine. Um, but it's so much nicer because now if I decide, hey, I don't want to do anything on the weekend, I just make sure everything gets done before Friday, and then I just don't do anything on the weekend. And I think that's one of the advantages of being able to do stuff yourself. You can make that decision. Like, do I want to work weekends? Well, I can, but I don't really want to. There are exceptions. Like, if a topic comes out on Sunday and I want to hit it on the Monday, obviously, yeah, I'll probably go and plan it. But if I don't need to, I'm just not going to. And I think that's just it's a nice feeling to know that you have complete control over when you work. Obviously, if you choose not to work, you're not going to make money, but that's the decision that you get to actually control yourself. You don't actually have someone else controlling that decision for you. I think that's yeah, I think that's a good way to basically sum that up. Oh, I just realized my topics were closed. Let's bring those back open. I'm going to probably pass out in front of that fan afterwards, but I need to plan a fucking video and record a video, so maybe I can't pass out in front of the fan. Um, maybe I don't want the video to be timely. Maybe I'll make it a day late. But I kind of want to just see what happens if I do make it very timely and just have the video absolutely bang. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be people who don't know about the LastPass thing until tomorrow morning. Usually what happens is the first, like, 24 hours is when a news topic is really banging. And yeah, I wanna try and hit that window and just see what happens. Usually I don't, and usually I just get residual views. Let's see if we look up LastPass, if anyone's talking about it just yet. No, it doesn't. At least in the last at least the popular videos, we don't have anything here. Let's go filter. I keep getting back to this LastPass thing. 5 hours ago. There's a couple of things from some very small channels, but yeah, I think I'll be the biggest channel who actually covers this. Unless Linus Tech Tips gets to it first with their news show that I'm blanking on the name. Not Tech Quickie. What's it called? Linus Tech Tips News. It's called Tech Linked. That one. I do like that if you look up Linus Tech Tips News, it will show up. They must have that as one of their tags on their channel. That actually is kind of useful. Um, does Tech Link come out today? Maybe it's gonna come out in the. It'll probably come out in the next Tech Linked episode if it doesn't come out in. Yeah, it'll definitely be the next Tech Linked episode because I'm pretty sure they've done some ad collaborations with LastPass, so it's not really gonna make sense if they don't cover it. I would say. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. At least it makes sense in my head. Maybe it doesn't make sense in the real world, but I would say that Linus Tech Tips probably has the credibility to call out their old partners if they start doing something really dumb. At least I would. Like if Linode and like, if me and Linode stopped working together and they did something like horrendously dumb, yeah, I probably would call them out as well. But LastPass is owned by LogMeIn now, so yeah, I wouldn't want to work with them either. LogMeIn, what a great company. I miss the days of having to use LogMeIn Hamachi to do things. Those were fun days. You didn't ever have to use LogMeIn Hamachi. It's just every tutorial on YouTube that wanted you to set up a game server would go and do it with LogMeIn. Honestly, I don't even know what the program did. It could have just been malware for all I know, but everyone was using it, so that's what ended up happening. Let's look up LogMeIn Hamachi. Yeah, LogMeIn Hamachi Minecraft server. And people are still using it apparently. I think it's like a port forwarding application or something. No, these videos are too new. We need to filter. We need to go upload date. Can we sort by age? Like oldest upload date? No. Why does YouTube not have the option to say sort in reverse order? That's not very useful. I want ancient videos on how to use LogMe and Hamachi. Hmm. Uh, Wonder. RuneScape private server. LogMe in Hamachi. This is gonna take us back to the past. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. 11 years ago. Oh my lord. I miss the days of RuneScape private servers. Maybe not miss is the correct word, but they don't really have any sort of reasonable player base from what I know at this point, because the main reason why they existed is because people didn't care about RuneScape 3. Um but now that RuneScape what is it called? RuneScape, old school RuneScape, that one exists. There's not really any reason to go and use a private server unless, like, some of them I guess kind of made sense because you got like improved experience, but this was the one that I was a big fan of back in the day. Empscape. Basically, it was improved experience, and they'd moved some stuff around. Like I think the King Black Dragon was in like Falador or something. I think one of my mates was actually in a RuneScape. Oh, sorry, a Empscape music video. Empscape music video. These were fun days as well. I can't play them just because they're going to be very copyrighted music. Oh my lord, what a long time ago this was. Oh jeez, I miss the days of like RuneScape and Emscape music videos. I'm actually, you know what? We're gonna play one. RuneScape music video. I'm not gonna have the music playing, obviously. Wait, I think I remember this one. I think I know what this is. I think I know what this one is. I'm pretty sure. Yes, this was a way that people entertain themselves back in the day. Basically, they talk in chat in RuneScape, do emotes, go to events that make sense for the lines they're saying, and this, yeah, this was very popular. Look at this, 2.5 million views. This was very popular in the early days of RuneScape. Oh, what a fun time this was. Same with like I recently rediscovered Free Stuff Blocks. What a great video this is. If you haven't seen any of Tanoob World's content, I highly suggest highly suggest watching it. It's honestly some of the best, worst RuneScape content ever made out there. And it needs it just needs more attention. Even though, look, 2 million views, yeah, fine. That's fine. 2 million views is a okay amount. This should have 100 million. I wonder if Tanoob World still makes content. That's a newer logo than I remember seeing. Um 5 years ago. Yep, 5 years ago was the latest video. Wow. Sad. Very sad. I I don't- I wish channels like this still existed. Because I feel like they still would be absolutely banging if they did. Wait, you have a Patreon? Tell me there's not people on the Patreon. There can't be. Okay, good. You don't have the Patreon running. Okay. I was gonna say. Um like if you if you had a Patreon still running and you hadn't uploaded in 5 years, that would be a little bit much. Account suspended. Oh, sad days. Sad days that channels like this no longer making content. Because occasionally I shouldn't do it because it's bad for me. Because I know eventually I will start playing RuneScape again. I occasionally look into like what's actually happening in like the RuneScape scene, and it's basically just all fucking boring content. Like, hey, look at this leveling. Wow. Oh, you have some people playing RuneScape. I spent $10,000 achieving my dream. Also, apparently, like, real money auction houses just aren't against the rules anymore. Or if they are against the rules, Jagex doesn't fucking care. Because there are some really, really big uh, real money auction houses that are perfectly fine operating. Because I remember in the early days, you would just straight up get banned for doing that. Uh, wait, what is this? I got 1 to 99 fletching in 1 hour and 38 minutes. And it's got a 75 like to dislike a 75% like to dislike ratio. So either it's bullshit or let's see. Hey Jagex, I did things that are already against the rules and they're overpowered. What? I wonder what the person actually did here. Oh, they were botting. Okay. They were I I ran I ran a fletching bot and I got to 99 in an hour and 38 minutes. Crazy. Who would have thought that would be possible? Yeah, no shit. If you run a bot, you're gonna get to max level very quickly. That's what the point of the bot is, you fucking idiot. Oh my god, these people. Some people trying to like clickbait content. I need to step up my game. Um, at least in the case of my clickbait, what I'm doing is it's either me being hyperbolic or me. Yeah, mainly when I do clickbait, it's mainly me being hyperbolic. But it is related to the actual content. Like I say, this is the best thing ever, and people are like, why do you keep making absolute statements? This is not the best thing ever. And I was like, you fucking nerd. I don't actually mean it's the best thing ever. Piss off. But like, at least what I'm doing with my clickbait is related to the content. But yeah, I see some people who are like straight up just lying in their titles and like, or lying in their thumbnails. Like, yeah, okay, that's a good way to get clicks. And also to not have people stick around and watch your content because I've kind of said this before, maybe not on the podcast, but I've definitely said it before. But most people don't really care about clickbait. The people who complain about clickbait, they're complaining when it's bad clickbait and when they're being lied to or they're being deceived or anything like that. But if it's something like, I don't know, Linus Tech Tips doing a clickbait video on a $7,000 chair, which is something they actually did, like you can see, yeah, it's a $7,000 chair. There's no lie here. They're just showing you, like, yeah, there's a fucking gaming chair that's $7,000. Is that clickbait? Absolutely. Clickbait is basically just a term for advertising your content properly, and people only complain about it when, I don't know, yeah, as I said, they're being lied to or anything like that. But you know, if people got rid of clickbait, you would never actually know what content you're actually trying to get to. Because even doing things like naming the thing correctly, you're going to have someone complaining, oh, that's clickbait. Like, oh, this is a video of penguins eating fish. Someone will be like, wow, that's clickbait. Why? Yeah, of course it's fucking clickbait. Because everything is clickbait. Same with how everything is cringe and everything is bloat. When your baseline is so fucking small that anything fits into it, yeah, some things are gonna slip through and everything is basically going to be considered the thing you don't like. Is this me ranting about nothing? Absolutely, because that's what we do in this podcast. Hmm. I didn't close my water bottle. I'm lucky I didn't spill that because I have things I don't want to break here. This doesn't matter. This is just iced coffee. But there's books on the desk and there's a keyboard that I probably don't want to spill water on. Even though I might replace it soon because I don't know what the deal is. I keep pressing enter and occasionally it'll include a backslash. I don't know what the deal is there. I thought maybe it was just a problem with the system. I needed to reboot, but I've done it a couple of times and it keeps doing it. So maybe there's like a short or something, and when I press enter, it occasionally flips on the backspace as well. I don't know. I don't know. I've had the keyboard, I think, for like maybe a year now, which isn't very old, but it's a fairly cheap keyboard. So maybe I'll go and upgrade to something like, maybe I'll get one of those very, very low profile, like Kali laptop keyboards. That might be kind of fun because people get like people keep saying, "Oh, my mechanical switches, mechanical switches, they're so good." Um, I like my scissor switches, but if it's something that low profile, maybe it'll be worth checking out. If you didn't catch my video on switches, basically my big problem with mechanical switches is they're too fucking big. There's no way you can make a mechanical keyboard low profile just because of how big the switch body itself is. Obviously, there are like lower profile ones, like, but I mean the more traditional ones like Cherry was using. Those ones, yeah, you could have thinner keyboards, but there was no way to actually make something like as low profile as a laptop keyboard without making the base of it absolutely massive, where you can actually have the entire key body embedded like deep under the actual board. And obviously, if you've done that, then you haven't got a low profile keyboard, but it's going to be more low profile than like any of the like the Black Widow keyboards or anything like that. But there are things that might suit my tastes that have been recently coming out from companies, as like I said, like Kali or Kali, I don't know how to say it, and other companies like that. It's the only problem with it is actually finding boards that use those switches, because I can't be bothered actually making a mechanical keyboard myself. That sounds like too much work. Maybe for a video that no one will watch, because everyone on my channel wants Linux content. But maybe if I do that, it will be a video. Actually, if I do make a mechanical keyboard, it'll definitely be a video because it's going to take the entire day to do. So I might as well try to make some sort of money from it. Even though the video won't actually pay for the board, it might pay for my sanity though, and it will definitely pay for my drinks that I'll need that night to deal with making a mechanical keyboard. I just keep reloading YouTube just to see what's there, and one of the videos has just not left my page, and that is called Boop the Fruit. I will have to watch that afterwards because, you know, YouTube is very much trying to make me watch this video. And there's a Gardner Bryant video here from the Linux Gamer. I won't watch that one because I don't care about the Linux Gamer. I don't know if it's kind of secret, but like I don't care. Oh lordy lord. Oh, I was talking about in my audio upgrade video about wanting to like learn how to properly EQ, and someone was like, "Oh, EQing's easy though. You only have like 3 knobs on your mixer board." That wasn't the point I was getting at. The point that I was getting at was I'm not really sure how I should be adjusting them to actually make it sound good. Because I know it's very easy to just go and turn the knobs and maybe eventually you'll find something decent. But I can't properly do it with my my what is it called? My sound bar, because you know it's a sound bar and it sounds terrible, and these are probably not great for EQing as well. These are just cheap earphones. So I probably need some like actual studio monitors so I can like actually do it properly. There's a what is it? Samsung 8 850 or something. It's like a really cheap pair of Samsung, not Samsung, Samsung. They sound very similar. Samsung, cheap. Okay, if I can spell it properly, Samsung cheap studio monitors that a lot of people recommend. They are the SR850. That's what they are. They're like $85 in Australia, and I don't know how they're going to sound. Like, people keep raving on about these. I don't know if they're actually good, but the fact that people keep saying that, I feel like it's probably worth checking out. Like, it seems, yeah, okay. So, people also recommend the Audio-Technica ATH, what is it? Audio-Technica ATH M50X. I think I was looking at those a while back, actually. Audio-Technica AT, it auto feels on Google. But these ones are a little bit expensive. These ones are close to $300. They are probably really comfortable, They are over ears as well, which is good. I don't like on ears. On ears are disgusting. I have sensitive ears, and having something clamped on my ears the entire time will be horrible. But those Samsons are much cheaper, and God, don't do this. You're a weird unit if you do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy them. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Some point, I need to get something better. Are the ATH MX50X overrated? Let's find out. The M50 is not overrated. It's just misunderstood by many new to the hobby. Okay. Is Audio Technica a good brand? Yes. Yes, they are. What kind of question is that? What kind of question is Audio Technica a good brand? Of course they are. What else would they be? Uh, oh, my lord. Some people. Maybe if you're just all of a sudden getting into the audio world, maybe you'll have no idea about Audio Technica, but I feel like even people who aren't super into audio have probably heard the name Audio Technica if they've just done any sort of research on buying like headphones or anything like that, because they very much come up as a recommendation a lot of the time. So I think if they're a recommendation a lot of the time, it's probably fair to assume that they're a fairly decent brand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's me assuming that maybe that's me assuming way too much of the brand. But I feel like if people are recommending it, yeah, you can probably make a safe assumption there. How close am I to bumping that? Oh no, it's fine. One thing I would like to do with this mic at some point is get into like a point where I'm not gonna bump it all the time. Maybe have like a overhead mount or something like that. I don't know. I still don't know where exactly it should be put. Maybe over here. I don't know. Oh god, that is really tight. Maybe over here. I don't know. 'Cause now it's more out of the way. The audio probably sounds slightly different now. I don't know. Microphones are one of these things where I should probably know much more about them, but I really don't. I sort of just wing it as I go. And that's why the Blue Yeti sounded as it did for so long, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with audio. I did get it sounding better by the end of its life. It's not like the Blue Yeti is dead. It's still sitting on my floor. I'm probably going to sell it sometime soon. Yeah, I think now it's actually in a worse spot now because of my arm waving. Having it close to my face might actually be better. There we go. I was so with this mic mount, it's a screw mount here, and this bar can also turn. So I wasn't sure if I was actually turning the bar or loosening the bolt. Loosening the bolt would be bad, but I think I ended up turning the bar itself. Probably great imagery for the audio listeners. You can work. You probably know how a screw works. I hope you know how a screw works. If you don't, I don't know how you made it so far, to be honest. Do I have that clip somewhere? I'm gonna play something for you guys. If you don't watch my live streams, you probably haven't seen this. Where was it? Was it in this one? Oh no, it's we're pins. Yeah, pins on Discord. I'll find it. Yeah, here it is. Jump to that one. Can I open that up in my browser? Is that a thing I can do? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I have to download it. Sure, whatever. Can I open that up in my browser? Show it in folder. I need to fix up my my folder that's loading up inside of Discord because it doesn't work right now. Open with internet. Yes, open with the internet. Open with Brave. Does that work? Yeah, here we go. Look at that. This isn't how I broke the light, but this is part of the reason why the light is broken. It's a good simulation.
Oh no, my light.
Oh, no, my light. I didn't mean to double play it, but hey, it works. Check out the live streams. The live streams are kind of fun like that, because I break things. Not intentionally most of the time, but sometimes it does happen, because I'm very clumsy. Less clumsy, actually, more just really dumb, and drop things. Because, you know, good streaming and all that. Streamer? We'll go with streamer. Sure, whatever. I think I'm making less sense as the podcast goes on. Yeah, probably. Oh my lord. Oh, one thing that actually has been going well though. Not that. Oh my god. That was a fucking. Oh, good timing for a coughing fit. Um, one thing that has been going well, besides me dying all the time, that's a little sweat. Has been going well is my updating of my schedule. So one of the things that I found was that on the early parts of the week, I tend to like waste a lot of time. Like, I'll get to Thursday, for example, and still be making thumbnails, when in reality, there was no reason for that to actually be the case. So I had tried to like schedule stuff out for a couple of days, make like a proper time block schedule, but then I forgot to make the schedule. And that's what usually happens when I try to schedule stuff. So instead, what I've decided to do is I'm now going to basically just do it by eye, but I'm going to try and actually make sure I'm actually keeping myself in check. So when I'm working, I usually try to like put my phone somewhere that I can't see it, because if I don't, I'll probably go and check it. And that definitely has helped. But usually what's happening now is on Mondays I'll get my four videos done, and then while I'm like waiting for my lunch to get cooked, I'll usually try to like edit a bit of a video, and that does definitely help out, because then usually by the end of Monday I have 3 videos actually edited. Monday nights I typically work, so that does definitely eat into some of my time. Now, Tuesday's what ended up happening. My last 2 videos get done, and then I try to get all of my thumbnails done. And usually the podcast also gets recorded on Tuesdays as well. It just so happens that's the day a lot of people seem to be free. And then Wednesdays are usually my cleanup day. Wednesday, I want to make sure that everything else is done, so that by Thursday and Friday, I have 2 full days to go and actually plan out my content. And I think right now that actually seems to be working fairly well, because I'll get to Thursday and realize I have so much time to plan out videos, because I usually don't work Thursdays, and it doesn't really take an entire day just to plan out 6 videos. If I do have extra time on Wednesdays, sometimes actually we'll go and plan a video then as well. So when I get to the Wednesday, also when I get to the Thursday, there's even less that I need to plan, and it makes it just really, really relaxing. One of the problems I had earlier was, even though I was bulk recording, I still felt like I was working all of the time, and that's not really a great feeling to have. If you're going to be working by yourself, you want to feel like you actually have some time when you can go and just chill for a bit. And I think now I finally gotten to the point where, yeah, it's finally starting to come together. I think the reason why I had to make some changes was because my older schedule was sort of arranged around doing stuff at uni. So when I was at uni, I don't like it sort of just was very haphazard when stuff was getting done. Because if I had an assignment, maybe like I would have to move stuff on Tuesday or something and record later. But now I want to I want to make it so it's a very rigid schedule, and that also does help with the way that I'm sort of going at my day job as well. Basically, right now, I'm only working nights, and I've got a pretty rigid schedule as well. Even though I'm a casual worker, not part time, I tend to be getting the exact same days every single week. And there is another store that is trying to get me part time. So when that happens, if that happens, then that'll mean that, like, I'll know exactly when I'm working all the time, which will also make it easier to plan out the podcast as well, because usually what ends up happening is with the podcast, trying to like set up a guest, I don't know when I'm actually going to be free until usually like Thursday the week before we're recording, which is plenty of time still, but I'd still much rather give people more heads up. So while I'm still working in a supermarket, I would like it to be a bit more known what I'm doing, especially with the other UK guys, or not just UK, I guess Europe in general, because those people, I'm either recording very early in the morning or I'm recording at night, both of which are kind of inconvenient when I'm working in Nightfill. American guys, it's fine, because usually with those people, I'm recording around, like, at worst, 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. is usually the absolute worst for those people, but more often than not, it's like 9 or 10 in the morning that a recording ends up happening. It's just that because the US is basically a full day behind, it's not actually a full day, it's more like, actually in some places it is basically a full day, but the EU is closer to half a day. Full day is fine. Full day is just like, oh, well, it's my time, but yesterday. Half a day, it's like, okay, do you want to record at 7 p.m.? Oh, well, it's 7 a.m. for me. Which, yeah, that's not too bad. But sometimes like, hey, you want to record at like, I think one of them was like, hey, you want to record at 4 p.m. my time? And it's like, mate, that's 4 a.m. I'm good. Let's try to find like a later time to do it. I'm happy to like stay up later or get up earlier, but 4 a.m. is to the point where I don't think I can actually do a decent show. The worst I've done, I think, was with Hex, where we recorded at 5 or 6 a.m., which is horrible, because I usually wake up at 8 a.m., yeah. I get about 8 hours sleep, I go to bed at midnight, wake up at about 8. Yeah. I don't like doing early mornings. Late nights are kind of fine. Late nights I can power through, but yeah, early mornings I'm like, I don't want to be awake right now. Let me go back to sleep. Usually after those episodes, I do actually, I do take a nap, especially after Hex's episode, because it was before I normally wake up when we finish the episode. So like, fuck it. I'm gonna go have a nap till like at least 9:30 a.m. And I did, and it was fine. I think I worked that night as well. Wasn't a good combination. Was not at all. Speaking of working, I'm waiting to see if I get a call that's gonna cut me tonight. I'd be quite happy to be cut tonight. I'm not too fussed about having hours, because I've already done plenty at the second store I work at. So if I get cut, I get cut. If I don't, well, I work tonight. And I guess the one advantage of that is that there's air conditioning at my work, unlike here, where there's not. So, could be worse, I guess. Uh, uh, Speaking of things that could be worse, that was a horrible segue. Yeah, no, actually, no, you know what? It could be worse. Because it's really, really good. I recently marathoned an anime that I haven't marathoned anything in so long. I think the last time I marathoned something, probably like first year of uni or something, back when I watched a lot of anime. Um, but I went and I went and marathoned the second season of ReZero, like the first half of it, and it's really good. If you haven't seen it yet, it's quite good. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll say some little things that basically Subaru dying all of the time finally gets addressed. Um, yeah, that's probably the big thing. That's the big focus of the season. Um, he can't keep just killing himself without there really being any problems with that actually happening. And then the only problem I have with the first half of the season, because it was split into two cores, and then there was like a 3-month gap. If I was watching it as it was airing, this would have really pissed me off, because basically the season ended with Subaru being punched by Otto. That was the last scene. That's all that happened. He's like, punch. Episode ends. Season over. I'm like, huh? Yeah, what, mate? Eh? Nani? That's how we're gonna end this? Luckily, there's already, what, 6? 7? 7 episodes out? Let's find out. How many episodes are out for ReZero right now? Let's go to AniChart. ReZero. There is currently 6 episodes out. Yes, yeah. And it's really good. I haven't watched the second core, but from what I've seen, really good. Besides that, I'm watching a couple other things this season. Shingeki no Kyojin, because I've watched the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, so I might as well finish it. It's pretty good. I would say suffer through the first like 2 or 3 episodes because they're shit. It introduces a bunch of new characters that you don't care about. And I still don't care about them. I never will care about them. And I don't know how they're going to end this in 5 episodes. Because, I don't know, so 6 episodes. There's 6 episodes left. And it feels like nothing's been tied up yet. And I've read the wiki. And I know the stuff that happened. And I have no idea how they're going to cram all of that into 6 episodes. But we'll see. Maybe they'll make it work somehow. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Another thing that's really good is Yakusoku no Neverland. Yakusoku no Neverlando. Yeah, we'll go with that. Promise Neverland. Really good. Second season, very good. I recommend it. If you haven't seen the first season, basically it's about a bunch of kids. Actually, is this gonna be spoilers? Yeah, it's gonna be spoilers. Spoilers for Yakusoku no I'm not even gonna try. Spoilers for Promise Neverland. Season 1, I guess. So basically, a bunch of kids in an orphanage. They're being trained for some reason. They don't know why they're being trained. Turns out they're actually demon food. Demon food. They're actually demon food. And they're like, yo, dogs, we don't want to be demon food, but you guys have trained us, and we're also like 200 IQ. Like literally, they are the smart orphans, or I guess smart food. Yeah, and like, yo, we're really athletic and really smart, so we're just gonna leave, and then they leave. That's how the season ends. Um, great explanation of that. But then season 2 focuses on them basically trying to save all of the other people from all of the orphanages. I guess they're not really orphanages. It's more like they're farms because they think they're orphans. In reality, though, they're actually just being farmed for their, I guess, their brains or something. I don't actually know what the demons want to eat. If it's their entire bodies or if it's just their brains or something, I don't know. They talk about their brains a lot, so I presume that's important. Yes. And now they're just trying to like go and save all of the other ones and then go to the safe human world. I know the series is still going, so they haven't got to the safe human world yet. Maybe they have. Maybe they have in the current arc. I don't know. Maybe I'll go read the manga. I'm not a big manga reader right now. If, yeah, when I get back into reading manga, it's probably going to be for the purposes of doing Japanese reading training. So I'll be reading probably like One Piece or something that's not super complex, and reading that in Japanese. And that will be fun. But right now, my grammar isn't really up to scratch to do that well enough that I could actually enjoy it. So I'm gonna leave the manga for a bit and work on something a bit easier. Speaking of things that are not easy, making steam engines in the in the Stone Age. Yeah, that's a great segue. Doctor Stone season 2, really good. They have a fucking tank now. It's in the opening. I'm not spoiling anything. If you watch the opening, you'll see the tank. Why do they have a tank? Fucking don't know. Fucking don't know. But I have a tank. And I've read ahead in the wiki, and it gets really dumb. Like, if you think Doctor Stone is dumb at this point, it gets so much fucking worse. At some point, they end up going to America. I don't know how they end up doing well there because I know everyone speaks Japanese here. I don't know if anyone actually speaks English. So how I don't know how that's gonna go, but yeah, if they eventually have like boats and shit and go to America. I hear good things about Horimiya as well. I haven't watched that yet, but I hear very good things about it. I have it downloaded though, so I'll have to check that one out. Let's see. Tensei Shitara Slime Dataken second season. Second season of Slime is so fucking good. I don't know how long the season's gonna be. If it's gonna be a single core, if it's gonna be two cores. I hope it's gonna be two cores because we're 6 episodes in, and yeah, Numeru is still not the demon lord or a demon lord. I guess there's multiple demon lords. I know he eventually becomes one. Hasn't happened yet, but it should be happening soon. I think the last episode was like the day before disaster or something like that. So that sounds like bad things are gonna happen very soon. And I know that he like murders an entire kingdom or something and gets the powers to become a demon lord or something crazy like that. So I'm excited to see that happen. What else are we watching? Oh, I'm not watching Wonder Egg Priority, but I hear it's absolutely amazing, so I probably should go and check that one out. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't know what it's about. I don't think anyone knows what it's about at this point. Uh, so yeah, I'll check that one out. What else do we have? Gotobun no Hanayome. It's more quintuplets. Do you like the first season? Yes, watch it. If you don't watch it because it's literally same with Doctor Stone. Actually, if you enjoyed the first season of Doctor Stone, you'll love the second season of Doctor Stone. If you didn't, you'll fucking hate it because it's the exact same show. It feels like it never ended, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I wanted more Doctor Stone. I wanted more quintuplets, and I got it. Same with Beastars. Actually, Beastars is really good. It's a it's one of those shows that ends up turning a lot of people away just because of like the concept of it. Basically, if you haven't seen Beastars, uh everyone's an animal. They're like all anthropomorphized animals. The main character is a grey wolf who wants to fuck a rabbit. I'm not making this up. That's actually what happens. But the rabbit actually like fucks a deer or something and like fucks everyone else. Yes, these are actually things that happen. How does a deer fuck a rabbit? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it would break. Same with like a grey wolf. How would a grey wolf fuck a rabbit? I don't know. Because this isn't like a normal sized grey wolf. This is like a fucking 7 foot tall grey wolf. So but the rabbit looks like a rabbit standing on its hind legs. So just like this fucking big. And the grey wolf, 7 foot tall. How does it fuck a rabbit? I don't know. I don't want to know. But the series itself is really good. Um, Basically the whole thing of it is that there's like this big tear between society because obviously there's carnivores, but the carnivores can't really eat meat because, meat are also anthropomorphized animals. Um, but it turns out that everything's not going as nicely as like the government likes to portray it as, nor like the leadership likes to portray it as, because there's like actually a black market where people go and buy meat, whether that be from people who are suicidal, who just killed themselves and then decided to kill themselves at the black market, whether they were roadkill, whether they were abducted. Um, yeah, it's kind of an interesting series, and I would highly, highly recommend checking it out. And I don't know what the deal is, why this is like the overarching story, but the main character's best friend, so the main character is the Grey Wolf, his best friend who was like a llama? Yeah, I think his best friend was a llama or something like that. He got mauled by not mauled, I guess yeah, he was mauled and eaten. Yeah, mauled and eaten by some carnivore at the school, and that's sort of like what's trying to be solved in this season, along with the deer who is now, I guess. Do you want to say that? No, I'm not going to say that because that's fucking hilarious when you find it out. The deer is also doing other things. The deer is very important, and they're all part of like an acting club as well. I don't know why they're in an acting club, but yeah. Also, yeah, that part's important. There's a lot of stuff happening. Also, um, the Grey Wolf dude is working with a big snake who is voiced by the what? Why am I blanking on his name? The snake dude from Naruto. I'm gonna look up snake dude from Naruto, and I'll find his name. Snake dude from Naruto. I feel dumb because I've watched early parts of Naruto. Um, yeah, Orochimaru. Yeah, the big snake in Beastars, who is like the guard of the campus, is voiced by the same Seiyu as Orochimaru, which is hilarious. He always does evil characters, but it just amuses me that he's decided like I'm gonna voice a snake in this one as well because why not? That would be funny. Um, let's see. I'm not watching Nanatsu no Taizai, even though I've seen all of the earlier seasons. Season 3 was so fucking bland that I don't care about season 4. Maybe I'll go back and watch it, but it was so poorly animated as well. Go back and watch season 1 of Nanatsu no Taizai. It was a gorgeous series. And then Dean took over, and it's not a gorgeous series anymore. It has like a scene every so often that's well animated, and then it just falls apart. What else do we have? We have Hataroku Cyborg season 2. If you want to learn about biology, great series. It's about the main character is a red blood cell, who's really bad at her job, and she sort of just like meets all of the other cells that hang out in the human body. And there's a narrator that tells you about things that are happening, and I think it's a really cool series. Um, it as with what we've said earlier, it's basically just more Hataraku Saibo. So if you enjoyed it, watch it. Yeah. Oh, Kumo desu ka? Okay. I could really do an entire episode talking about Kumo desu ka. So I'm a really, 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 really big fan of this series, not the anime. The anime is good in its own way. But I'm gonna grab them. Okay. So you probably can't hear me very well. I'll turn the microphone. Grab all of these. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but like I read light novels, and I've got the first 7 volumes of Akumo desu ka. We have this one, volume 1. We have this one, volume 2. I believe this is where the anime is currently up to. Um, yeah, because we haven't defeated the Earth Dragon just yet. Yeah, so because yeah, he Kumo is who Kumoko, is that the name she's going with so far? Yeah, I think as a spider she is called Kumoko. um, this is where we're up to so far. We're like 6 episodes in, and we're yes, 7 episodes in. Sorry, 6 episodes in. And we're already most of the way through the second volume. So this is gonna go by fairly quickly. Then we'll be up to here where we finally fight the Earth Dragon. And I think that's when we're getting ready to leave the labyrinth. No, there's a bit more of the labyrinth after that still. Yeah. But the problem I have with Kumo desu ka mainly stems from the fact that the adaptation is so lightning fast, because it's going to be a 25 episode season, and we're most of the way through volume 2. So by that pacing, I would say by by episode 12 or so, we'll probably be most of the way through volume 4, where I think Kumiko finally gets to chill with the Demon Lord. Getting close to it at least. Let's see. How does this end? Ah, no. Yeah. So we do leave the labyrinth. Um, and we end up meeting the vampire child. It's also not doing a great job with the timeline. So it's a very, very big deal in this series that there are two timelines going on at the same time, and they're not synced up with each other. And by this point in the series, it would be pretty obvious that that has happened. It's not obvious in the in the anime that that has happened though, because it's not like there's two, like, I guess not two distinct timelines, basically two different points in time that are going on at the same time. So you have the spider who is going through the labyrinth, but all of the human stories I think are happening like 10 years later. And this is very, very important because at this point in the series, it's not clear like who the demon lord actually is, or who, like who the nightmare of the labyrinth is either. Like, is it actually Kumiko? Is it someone else? Does Kumiko become the demon lord? It's not really clear, and it's not supposed to be clear. But the anime is doing a fairly bad job at actually portraying that. It's it's fun. I'll say that. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't watch it because we're gonna get through 4 volumes in the first 12 episodes, so there's gonna be some fun stuff that happens in the second half if my pacing estimation is correct. And at worst, I think we're gonna get to like probably like volume 6. Yeah, I reckon volume 6. So that's volume 5. Um, and volume 6, Kumiko finally. Here's a spoiler for you, I guess. Kumiko gets a human form. Half human form? I guess it's her arachne form. Basically, she gets like a human upper body, and then like she's still a spider in the lower half. But the series gets fucking stupid later on. They've got some little hints at it. It's not hinting as hard as the light novel was. Little things like the M equals percent thing. Is it M equals percent? I equals percent or something like that. I equals percent to God, or it's something like that. Basically, the entire like RPG system that's going on in this series is complete bullshit. Like, I don't mean bullshit as in like it's made up. I mean it's bullshit as in the world it's not actually a real thing. Everyone just they don't realize they're actually part of like a simulation sort of thing. It gets fucking stupid. And eventually we have like an elf dude who shows up. You might notice that he has a mech and tanks and stuff because there's like hidden ancient technology where there are mechs for some reason. Why are there mechs in a fantasy world? Reasons. And that's what I love about this series. It doesn't try to like it tries to explain why it makes sense why there's mechs in this world. It fails horrendously, and I hope the anime fails just as horrendously as just as horrendously at that as what the fuck is a sentence? Fails just as horrendously at explaining that as the light novel does, because it makes it even more fun. You're like, why exactly are we fighting a giant spaceship right now? What is happening? And I think this is part, like, if you go on places like Mal or anywhere that reviews light novels and manga, that's the point where people are like, this series got really bad. When they left the labyrinth, that's when it became bad. In my mind, that's when it got so much better, because it started reminding me of something like Symphogear, where it's just decided that, you know what? I don't care anymore. I genuinely don't care. Do we want to have, say, I don't know, first season of Symphogear? The antagonist is someone who is trying to blow up the moon because the moon is a communication device that allows them to talk with God. I am not making this up. Go watch the first season of Symphogear, and it only gets worse from there. And I feel like that's what happens with this series as well. It starts off like, oh yeah, I'm a spider in a labyrinth doing fantasy world things, and at the point I'm at now, we have a giant, half spider, half human fighting mechs on a spaceship. Also the Pope is there, and he's not doing anything. He likes to show up at really dangerous places and like antagonize the demon lord, and she's just like, I could like kill you right now, right? And he's like, I know. Like, mate, why are you here then? Look, I've got an army. Like, mate, your army is nothing. Humans in this series are literally a joke. Unless they are, unless they are a unless they are a reincarnated human, they are basically just cannon fodder. Everyone who isn't a reincarnated, everyone who isn't reincarnated is literally useless in this series. Even most of the reincarnated people are completely useless as well because the teacher of the class who got like basically the series started with like an entire class being reincarnated. The teacher of the class is trying to like keep everyone safe, but also the way she decided to keep them safe was to like keep them with the big elf that has mechs. But she didn't know about the mechs. But also the elf dude's kind of an asshole anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It was a bad decision. So because they're all being kept safe there, none of them have actually trained, so most of them are just cannon fodder as well. Basically, actually, you know what? Compared to the main character, compared to Kumiko, everyone is cannon fodder because at the point at where I'm in the series, she is literally unkillable unless you like create a fucking black hole. Uh, I'm not joking. She gets like an immortality ability where as long as her soul doesn't be as long as her soul isn't destroyed, she can revive because she has her auto healing ability. So even if her entire body's gone, eventually she'll still heal back to full health. Um and if someone does threaten to destroy her soul, maybe they're using like abyss magic or something, she has the ability to move her consciousness to another one of her spider children and transfer over all of her stats. Basically, she's unkillable. Um, it's it's fucking great. I love the anime. The anime is fun, but it's not the true experience of Kumodeska. If you really want to see how dumb this series can be, I highly, highly suggest going and reading the light novel. Even if you don't go and buy like physical copies, you can buy the ebook on like Amazon and Bookwalker and places like that. It's a good read. Some people might say, oh, read the manga. It seems like the anime is a bit more of a manga adaptation. That might be why the pacing is kind of fucked. Because mangas obviously have to do stuff much, much quicker. The thing that this, like the light novel gets to do is because you have to explain everything, it goes into like over detail on every single thing that happens. The reason why it can get through, like, even though a lot more stuff does happen and they are cutting some stuff, I think really realistically it could be most of the way through. You'll probably be starting volume 2 where we're at right now, because a lot of the first couple of volumes is explaining things like abilities. So like, what does this ability do? What does this ability do? And I think it's actually really, really interesting because it's not like they're just pulling shit out of their ass when they save themselves in the middle of some boss fight. You already know, like, yeah, we're literally a god at this point. What are you gonna do about it? I think that's enough rambling about Kumodeska. Um, it's a good series. Recommend reading it. I need to buy more of the light novel. I think next volume, Kumoko, or I guess she's called White in her human form now. Because she wears white. That's why she's called White. Also, her skin's very light, so everyone just calls her White, which is a great name. It's so creative. Um. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I need to buy more of the light novel. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the podcast here because I'm rambling at this point, and we've been going for 2 hours, and I want to make some lunch. Oh god! And if I don't end the podcast sometime reasonably soon, I probably won't have time to go and record. Go and plan and record the last pass video. Hopefully, I end up doing it today. I may end up pushing the video back to tomorrow though, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, we usually end off the podcast by me talking about someone who I've been watching. So, you know what? I'm gonna say that you should go watch. Yeah, you should go watch a channel who's been taking up too much of my time. Oh, I guess he's not doing as many now. This channel really is actually really good. This is Gamer's Joint. He does a lot of Kingdom Hearts content. He does some other stuff as well, apparently, but I've only really been watching his Kingdom Hearts stuff. It's quite good, actually. He does do, yeah, very much the, whoa, big face thumbnails, but the content of the videos are actually really, really cool. Ooh, what is that? Oh, he's running it on a emulate, running 358 over 2 days on an emulator, and anti-aliasing it to hell. What the fuck? This game can look good. For a DS game, wow, it looked so bad when I originally played it, but that's a bit of an upgrade. That actually looks about as good as like the PS2 titles. Yeah, okay, if I ever go and play this Nintendo DS native resolution, holy shit. Yeah, if I ever go and play this game again, I'll have to go and upscale it. That's definitely for sure. Wow. The UI still looks like arse though, but I do want to go back and play this game at some point. I do remember it being very, very fun. And hey, you get to play as Roxas for the entire game, which is cool, because it's not like you get to do that for very long in Kingdom Hearts 2. You do get to play like the prologue, but that's basically all you get. And you can also go and play as Sora and stuff, and like the I guess you call it like the arcade mode or something, or the mission mode, I think it's called. And that's also cool. So yeah, go check out Gamers Joint. Oh, this is also doing it on Recoded. Oh yeah, this is Recoded, not 358, but this one over here was 358. Recoded was the really weird Kingdom Hearts game where you I how do I explain it? You're like you're Sora, but you're not really Sora. You're actually Sora inside of a computer, because real Sora is asleep at the time, because this takes place, I think, before the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, something like that. So it's an odd game, and there's Data Riku, and Data Riku I think becomes a thing in Kingdom Hearts 3 or something like that. I don't know. I haven't played 3 yet, but I know there is the original model of Riku inside of that game. So weird things must be happening, but time travel is not a new thing in the Kingdom Hearts series, so it doesn't surprise me too much that they're just fucking around with stuff. So that's gonna be everything. I think I went through a lot of my topics actually, because solo episodes end up just being very, very rambly. And apparently I'm not tired anymore, even though I was tired most of the way through the recording. That's usually what happens. Anyway, before I go, I would like to thank my supporters. So a special thank you to Chris, Joachim, Donald, Michael, Andre, Nathan, David, Monster, Will, Brennan, Chico, Bento, Jamie, Joseph, Mitchell, Peter, Stephen, Tony, Tushar, and all my $2 supporters. If you'd like to go support my work, them links down below to my Patreon, subscribe, star, LibrePay, all of that sort of stuff. This podcast, if you're watching the video version, the audio version is available basically anywhere. If you know the name, you'll be able to find it. If you're watching the audio version, the video version is available on Odyssey, Library, Daily Motion, Facebook, YouTube, things like that. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Next week, I don't actually have a guest lined up, but I'll have a guest lined up probably by the end of the day. Maybe it'll be some maybe, yeah. Maybe by the weekend. I don't know. There'll be someone lined up. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe I'll bring Gavin on the show, because that'll be fun. But besides that, I think that's going to be everything for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I bumped my mic. I'm out.